Devils travel to Long Island to finish up the pre-Christmas portion of their schedule, and they were in a stingy mood, but the Islanders were even stingier, and they win by a score of 2-1. So the Devils have lost 2 straight entering the Christmas break, and the goal-scoring issues continue, Mr. Resch.
And who was stingy, Matty? Let's be honest. The goalies were they were Grinches tonight. They were not letting some really good chances get behind them. Obviously, the one by Markstrom where he went out to play the puck, he'd like to have that one back. But other than that, the 3 goals were pretty nice, and I don't know what you could have done, especially on that last one by the Islanders.
We'll hear from Jacob Markstrom a little later on, and we'll also get the thoughts of Brett Pesce. But first, let's get to the highlights. And while the Devils would take a 1-0 lead after 1, it wasn't easy. The Islanders had some great opportunities on Jacob Markstrom, and it started early with kind of a strange breakaway. Puck delivered into the Devils' end. Dawson Mercer after it. Scott Mayfield will play it off the glass. Luke Hughes with a shot from the point that's blocked. And it comes out to Cizikas in a race. He's across the line. Devils get back. The shot fought off by Markstrom. And so it was a shot by Luke Hughes. And then it was a weird block by Cizikas. But it came toward the middle of the ice. And he had a little gap between Luke Hughes and Brendan Dillon. And off to the races he went.
And, that's what we were wondering. Is this going to be that kind of crazy game? And if those kinds of chances continue, Matty, you're going to get your 6 goals to announce tonight. I know there's going to be some goals scored, but that wasn't the case.
Well, there was another opportunity shortly thereafter. This one a little more dangerous, but Markstrom was there. Pass from the far wall, comes out to center ice. Barzal with it again, comes across the line, backhands a feed near side. Here's Simon Holmstrom in the corner. Backhands in the slot, shot saved by Markstrom. Oh, wide open was Anders Lee. Breakdown in coverage there. Well, Lee, a more dangerous scorer than Casey Cizikas, but Jacob Markstrom handling both of them with ease.
Oh, his positioning, Matty, his aggressiveness on the puck and his hands, flowing so well. I thought he's in line to maybe get a shutout.
Well, the Devils slowed down, giving the opportunities to the Islanders. And in the second half of that first period, they started to gain some control of the game. And they would take a lead on a goal from a rare source. In the left wing corner, pressed to the wall, puck free. Meyer gets it back, keeps it alive. Hischier finds a man, shot, they score. It's Brett Pesce with his first of the season. And credit Timo Meyer with some great work in the corner. Devils lead 1-0. Yeah, he fought to keep the puck alive. It was knocked off his stick. He tied up 2 Islander players, and eventually it was in the back of the net. Brett Pesce at 15:35. The assists, the official points, go to Nico Hischier and Dawson Mercer. Hischier with a beautiful pass.
Well, gorgeous pass. And you know what? I'm not going to get fired up for what happens early. Last night, Jack Hughes come back, he scored. I think, Devils are really going to roll. Then Brett Pesce gets the puck, and he didn't just shoot it, folks. He dragged the puck to the middle of the net, shot it back off the pipe. I thought if he's scoring, maybe the Devils are going to fill the net tonight.
But that will turn out to be the only goal of the game. But we didn't know that at the time. The period ends with the Devils leading 1-0. So we move into the second period, and Anders Lee, again, a bit of a bug. Loose puck at center ice. Barzal across the line, right wing circle, in deep with a shot. Save, rebound, cleared away in front. Was that a one-hand clear by Luke Hughes to the corner?
Yes.
Looked like it. In tight, it's Lee. He stopped. Puck loose. Covered up only for a moment by Markstrom. I call Lee a bug in the best sense because he's their captain, and he was there, and he only had 2 shots on goal, but he had 3 that were missed the target, 2 that were blocked. So he was around the puck all night.
And he was a big bug. He wasn't a little bug. And, he's one of their best scorers, right? With Horvath out and Palmieri out, they look to him, and he's had good success against the Devils. So he was dangerous early on.
6'3", 234 pounds
is
Anders Lee. Yeah. And yet Jacob Markstrom was able to stopped that puck, and the Devils maintained the 1-0 lead. And then there was an errant pass and one of the stranger, sadder goals in some way that the Devils would allow. Here's Nico Hischier cutting behind the net, watched by Schaefer, pushed at by Schaefer, and now the pass towards Siegenthaler comes all the way down. Markstrom out to play, though he gives it away, they score into the empty net. It was a bad pass. The puck rolled off of Hischier's stick. He tried to get it to Siegenthaler. It wasn't close. It rolls all the way down. Holmstrom finally is the beneficiary to tie it up at 1. What might have happened differently? What is the decision-making that maybe needed to be a little different on that play?
Yeah, because that play happens a lot, right, Matty? I mean, that's going to take place, throughout the game. And then Markstrom's got his mindset. I just know he was thinking ahead of it. I talked to Corey Schneider. He said the same thing. He went out there. Corey used to play with the Devils, in case you don't know. And he said, okay, I'm going to play this puck. But then when you see it, Holmstrom is actually on the inside of him. He's not forcing him. And it's Siegenthaler that's going towards him. And Markey just couldn't read it quick enough. I got to get rid of it. He shoots it right off the ankle of Siegenthaler, but then it went right to Holmstrom, and he's on the inside. That's why he was able to get loose. I mean, bad shot, lucky bounce to Holmstrom, and, oh, Matty, that was like, what just happened there? But it was a goal, and we were tied.
At 12:10 of the second period, an unassisted goal for Simon Holmstrom, his 7th of the season. So this game would be decided in the third, maybe overtime, maybe a shootout, the way things were rolling. Jesper Bratt had just a brilliant chance. He showed patience, but didn't have any luck. Here's Jesper Bratt skating out in front. Patient shot goes through the crease. Are you okay?
I am okay, but it was a stab in the heart when he missed that. Because as Matty said, he showed patience. And he did this 10-2 little stutter step he does so well, like nobody else, to beat Schaefer. Then he's got room to cut across. But he knows that Richie's going to stay with them, so he stays, and he's going, if you're looking at the net, from right to left, he's going. But now he gets to the point where, I got to shoot it pretty soon because he's almost on the goal line, and he shoots it, and the goalie is stretching with his right pad, and if that had hit his pad, it would have went in the net. It missed the pad, missed the far post, and went out the other side, and you said, oh, my goodness, is that the Devils' luck or what?
Yeah, chance goes by the boards, and again, Jesper Bratt, no goals in his last 6 games, just 1 in his last 23. Still, the Devils were tied at 1. Dawson Mercer tried to snap that tie. Meyer across the line. Creates some space. Backhands one in front. What a pass save made by Riddick on Mercer's try. Beautiful pass by Meyer.
Great. Feeling good, just like last game against Buffalo. And then on top of that, when the players that you think can score and hope they can, somehow, I don't know, they get the shot blocked. It goes wide. I am even shocked, Manny, on some of the chances the Devils have in the slot that don't reach the net. I can't. I'd like to look at the tape, but I'm not going to. But I can't fathom how they're not getting through. But they're not.
Devils were trying to get out of here with at least 1 point. Surely they wanted to win. But as we made our way toward the final countdown in the third period, it was a sense of, look, let's just get a point and let's see what happens in overtime or the shootout. And the Devils, though, did have their top line out there. They got the puck into the Islanders' end, but it turns out to be the play of the game. Brought to you by Prudential, the Devils' official financial services partner.
With Jack Hughes,
who has the puck in the center circle, plays it to the far corner, chase on. Brett gets there first. Boston Edge trying to feed it to Jack. It rolled free, and the Islanders break out. Barzell across the line for Lee, comes near side, and sending it wide was Holmstrom. Here's a blast. They score. It's Adam Pelech, and the Islanders have grabbed a late 2-1 lead. And that was the play of the game, brought to you by Prudential, the Devils' official financial services partner. The goal at 18:45. It starts with the Devils' inability to connect on a pass. Bratt to Hughes. It gets past him, and now here come the Islanders down the other way. But it seemed harmless. The shot by Holmstrom didn't come close. Or rather, by Holmstrom.
He missed it, but it started with Pulak changing for Pelech, and I thought, he changed poorly at that time. And so that allowed the Devils to go up the ice. And like you say, now they got a chance. But they miss a pass themselves, and then the 3-on-2. Holmstrom on the right side, if you're looking at the net, he gets the one-timer. And I know the one-timer's got to be in the right spot, or you can jam it or slam it or whatever. So he misses the net completely. But you guys, it goes behind the net. He couldn't have banked it this well if he had tried. He banks it off the back of boards. It goes right out now. Pelech has come down inside the circle, which he should. It's late in the game. And the puck comes right to him. And he had to be one of the best shots of the year for him because he only scored one goal. And he rips it far side to the right off the pipe. And I don't know about you. Were you a little shocked? A little bit when you saw it go in?
Oh, yeah. I was. It was more like holding your breath, like, don't let this happen, what I think might happen.
I know.
But it did, and the Islanders go on to the 2-1 victory. Lee must have gotten just a little piece of that puck after the shot went wide because he's actually given the primary assist. So Holmstrom with the blast. And that's
no, he would have. Oh, he was given the primary assist?
Yeah, I just want to confirm that.
I don't know.
Yeah.
He was in front, but it was Holmstrom that ripped the one-timer.
I agree with you. Anyway, it's listed officially. It may change. Pelech from Lee and Holmstrom. Either way, it doesn't matter who gets the point. The goal went to Pelech, and 2-1 is the final score. Very, very disappointing. So where do we start? Well, we got to start with the goal, right? That tied the game at 1. This is what Jacob Markstrom had to say after the game.
Mark, just overall, it looked like 2 bad bounces kind of cost you guys the win tonight. With the way you guys played, maybe you deserved better?
Yeah, no, I think we played a good game, and for sure, I mean, we got a big goal from Pesh, and then, obviously the first goal is on me, and then, on the second one, you got to come up with a big save and a big time.
On the first goal, is it just where you got caught maybe out in too far out?
No, I skated out.
No, but I mean,
on purpose. And then, I mean, I try to just, they came too hard on their forecheck, and just try to help my D-man and just go, off the boards to our second layer, which he had time and can turn to play offense instead. And I hit Siggy's skate, and it's on me. I should have, with everything, all things considered, I should have stayed in the net, and it should have been a 1-0 game.
Marky, obviously you always want to get back out there after a loss, but is it maybe good to sort of have a little break for everyone's bodies to kind of heal? It's been a really intense sort of first part of the season.
Christmas is, it's a fun time, and, you get to be with your kids and your wife and spend time with the loved ones. So, Christmas is always fun.
Jacob Markstrom talking about the play.
But Christmas isn't going to soothe that first goal. So don't ask him, well, now that you got a break, can you? No, because he is so competitive, Matty. He knows that the goaltending, Jake Allen knows that the goaltenders are going to be the difference. Now, down the road, in January, in March, in April, and the playoffs, it's going to be the goalie. So, Matty, I was there, and I had some bad goals go against me too, and no, nothing soothes them. Only a big win the next game will soothe them. But he's got to kind of forget about it. Matt, I don't know about you, but I don't think you take anything out of this game to focus on, that's who we are. I think you just go forward with, we can get better. Come on, we can get better, and believe that.
Yeah, and hopefully find that scoring touch, which has been so elusive. The Devils now in their last 6 are 3-3-0, and they've scored 10. They've given up 10. So that's why they're even. That's why they're 3-3-0 until they find a breakthrough and score a few more goals on a regular basis. It's going to be like that. Hopefully it starts on Saturday against Washington. Brett Pesce always has thoughtful responses. He had the only Devils goal, and he spoke with the media following the loss.
One of those nights where 2 bad breaks kind of cost you.
Yeah.
kind of unacceptable to not at least take that overtime. Can't give up a 3-on-2 with a minute left. It's really that simple.
It looked like, you had a few opportunities.
Yeah.
I think you feel like you probably deserve better tonight, right?
Yeah, for sure. It's a good team. We're a good team. We both had, a fair amount of chances. So, it just, that's an unfortunate outcome for us.
What do you think of the officiating tonight? I guess let you guys play tonight?
Yeah, I like that. Just let us play. It kind of felt like a playoff game. It was hitting and it was physical and the pace was high. So, I appreciate that when the refs let both teams play it out.
How tough is it to kind of go into the break, not just with a loss, but the feeling that you're talking about, like that ultimate disappointment?
Yeah, this is tough. To sit on this for 3 or 4 days, it hurts, but, can't dwell on the past. It is what it is, and, we have to move on to our next game, and still a lot of hockey left, so.
I know you've just sort of re-entered the lineup, but you've been watching. You're part of this group. Like, what does this group kind of need to do to refine that, like, consistent momentum?
Yeah, I just think just as keeping it simple. I mean, I feel like we kind of been struggling in the neutral zone for a little bit. See what happens when we just get the puck behind them and go to work. I think we have some of the fastest forwards in the league, and when we're working as a 5-man unit, it's hard for the other team to break out. So just a little more consistency in that, and obviously eliminating the odd man rushes.
Is it tough to see that first goal with what happened with Markey?
Yeah, I mean, just a bad bounce. He's so good with the puck. Just unfortunate, I think it hits Sieg's skate. So, that's hockey. It's just a bad break.
Because he was really rock solid.
It's unbelievable.
He was unbelievable
Yeah.
tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it was unreal. He kept us in that game. Made some massive saves. So, he did all he could to help us get this win.
Brett, what do you make of the team's offensive struggles of late? And I think it's something like you guys haven't been able to crack more than 2 goals in 5 games now.
You know what? I think a lot. I think some of it comes down to forechecking, like I talked about. I think just our neutral zone turnovers are, it's tough right now. I think just simplifying our game and just going to work on the forecheck, I think that's going to create a lot of chaos. I know as a defenseman, this team felt like they dumped every puck in, and it's not fun for a defenseman to go back 100 times and retrieve a puck and try to break it out. Like, you're going to make mistakes. So I think just getting back to basics, and we're such a good team, so much skill up front, it'll just come.
Thanks, Brett.
Well, Devils hope it comes on Saturday.
Well, that's all. Like they said, you can't look in the past, you can't look tonight. But I get it. The forecheck's important, all that stuff. But, Maddie, when you get the puck, okay, the next step, you got to make good passes, tape to tape. If you're going to go 2 passes, fine. But when the player who gets the puck, who decides to shoot, he's got to hit the net. He's got to. It's 4x6. And I'm just saying that's back to the basics. It's back to the basics. And I get it, because it's really hard for a player to say why the Devils aren't scoring. I get it. I don't know why. But I do know this. There was some passes tonight that were not tape to tape that would have really looked good if they were. And then the shooting, again, and we've talked about it in the past, the Devils basically, to me, are not shooting the puck as well as they did earlier in the year. And that's what they got to improve on.
So you're scratching your head a little bit. Players will scratch their
Yes.
head. Don't know why the goal scoring has dried up. Maybe the head coach has an idea. Sheldon Keefe has just concluded his post-game news conference.
Stretch the way you did here today. What are just some of the takeaways that you have from this one here tonight?
Well, it's obviously a tight game. When you don't score, the margin for error is very small. So that's, ultimately made a couple of mistakes that end up in our net. But, that's the way it's been going.
Talking to some of your offensive guys, they're saying we're sticking to the process, we're doing the process, but they're not necessarily landing in the net. What sort of is that extra inch that needs to happen, or is it just...
It's hard.
It's hard.
It's hard to pinpoint. I think, what were we, at least 4 times tonight? We were in alone on the goaltender and with a lot of our best people with the puck on their stick. If 1 or 2 of those go in, it's a much different game, clearly. But yeah, we just got to stay with it. We got to put together 3 periods. Our second period again here today was not good enough. Hasn't been good since Vegas. Vegas was one of our best in a long while, but the last few against teams with really mobile and fast and skilled defense, we've had some trouble with that when we've given the puck back or lost battles. It's been hard to get it back. So that's little things that we can do better. Obviously, draw more penalties. That would help as well, so we can get our power play going. And a lot of times it ends up being the power play that comes first. The power play gets a couple, and the guys start feeling it. And then the 5-on-5 follows. But obviously we didn't draw any today, and we haven't had many last few games. So it's been tough to get much of that feel.
You mentioned that second period there. I remember at the beginning of the year, we talked so much about how great that second period was for you. Are you surprised at the flip-flop there, or is it just sort of the cadence of the season?
Yeah, I mean, we just haven't been as good. I guess it is partially the cadence of the season. I think the fact that it has been good, that's when we're at our best and we're playing and doing the things that we talk about consistently. We manipulate the game in a way in which we were good in the second period. Like I said, Vegas was extremely good for us. That was the most recent one. But we've just given the puck back too much, either direct turnovers or just lost puck battles. So we've been unable to sustain offense, and that's been in all 3 periods, but that gets enhanced in the second period, and you can't get people off. And if you're getting outchanged in the second period, it's going to look like it has.
This holiday break kind of splits up the season, kind of the first half versus the second half. Now that the team has the ability to reset, and for you as a coaching staff, are you drawing positives from what you've seen in the first half to keep a positive mentality going forward into the second?
Well, we don't have a choice but to be positive about it. But I think if you look back at it, considering the way the season has gone, the number of injuries that we've had at different times, the quality of player that we've played without for long stretches of time. The fact that we're still, very much in the fight through the first half is good. And, we're not light years away from really where we were last year, which we went into Christmas, feeling wonderful about ourselves. The challenge, of course, is that there's a lot of the league. It feels pretty good about themselves going into Christmas, so it's going to be a battle coming back the rest of the way, no question.
You mentioned. If you get a couple of those goals, it's a different game. The Markstrom play, you had momentum. How much did that cost you in that game, do you think?
Well, it's a tough play emotionally, to see one like that you give up for free essentially is hard, especially when you haven't been scoring. So now you know that you have to you got to find another one to win. But at the same time, Markey made some big saves for us here in the game today, especially in the early going, that I thought allowed us to kind of find our legs. So that just kind of goes like that sometimes. But that was a big ball in the game. Obviously, it evens the score, probably most importantly. But it's just another thing where if a couple of we score a little more, we give a little more cushion. You probably don't even ask me about it, but that's, again, just kind of the way things have been going.
Sheldon, what have you thought of Jesper Bratt's play late? And I know there was a couple opportunities tonight where we had some open nets and everything like that, just wasn't able to finish.
Yeah, obviously he's fighting it offensively to finish. I still think he's doing lots of good things to drive the puck through the neutral zone and all of that, but and he's not the only one. But puck hasn't fallen in, and talked about being in alone today. He was in alone, and just an unbelievable play to put himself in that position. First of all, but I can think of times in alone near this season where he's missed a shot or hit the post. There's at least 3 or 4 goals in there that I think kind of change a lot in terms of your mindset. But I think the break comes at a good time for he and some others to just get away from the game a little bit and come back refreshed.
Maybe frustration with how the offense has been going, seeing that it's been hard to get goals, especially with some guys coming back and being as healthy as you can be at this point?
Well, I mean, I don't know about frustration. I think it's at the same time, in the games that you're referencing, the last little bit here, the other team hasn't been scoring either, So, I mean, if it's 4-4 after the second period, are we feeling any better about ourselves? We're in the game. We're doing a good job, giving ourselves a chance. We got to be comfortable in those spots. There's ebbs and flows of the season where you're going to score a bunch, and times you're not going to score. So, don't sabotage the game. And your opportunity to win just because you're fighting or searching for something. So I don't seek any frustration, at least I shouldn't. You know who's not frustrated? The teams who've been beating us 2-1. They're feeling pretty good about themselves. So, you can win a game 2-1 and you feel pretty good about yourself. So that's on us to get on the right side of it.
Sheldon Keefe concluding his post-game news conference. And, Chico, then I ask you the question. He referenced it. Would you rather be a team that can score 5 goals easily but can't play defense? You're giving up 5 or 6. Or would you rather be a team that hopes to find some goal-scoring touch but can maintain a defensive posture? Because, again, in the last 6 games, Devils only scored 10, but they've only given up 10.
Oh, boy, that's $1 million question. But I like the 4-4 from the fact that then players say, hey, we can score, we can finish. But then as the goalie saying, but I'm giving up 4 and I can't do that. You know what I mean? It's ebb and flow. I thought he answered that beautifully, whether it's 1-1 or 4-4 going into the third. We've said it this year, Matty, where the Devils had found ways to win, and that's still their major goal. They haven't done it as much lately, but that's what they got to find out. If you're tied going into the third, say it's a playoffs, whatever, you're in pretty good position. And so just make sure that you don't do things that can blow up on you and cause you to get beat by a goal that shouldn't. And like tonight, it was less than what? Was it less than a minute? Or right
a little
around?
over a minute. Minute 15 left.
Those are crushers, but you can't think about them. So they got to let it go, enjoy the 3-day holiday. But they're playing a team, Washington, that's really struggling. Let's hope that they can come back on Saturday night and start to put some of those things together.
Until then, Chico, I know your daughter, son-in-law, granddaughter are in town. I hope you and the family have a great Christmas.
And same to you, Maddie, and all of our listeners. And we put the game into perspective. It's a fun escape, and it's enjoyable and entertaining. But it's Christmas, if you celebrate it, that life is really all about.
And so the Devils will take this loss with them into the break, hopefully coming out of the break on the winning side of things when they take on Washington on Saturday night. It's at Prudential Center, and a game you'll hear here on the Devils Hockey Network.